Hello, Apps here from Dimp Digital. Welcome to my review of Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain. As always, let's start with my cards on the table. Firstly, I played this on the trusty PlayStation 4. Secondly, this review does not cover any aspect of Metal Gear Online. That has been released today, the same day as this video, which is the 6th of October, so no way was that going to get played in time. We're covering just sort of like the main part of Metal Gear Solid The Phantom Pain, which has been the story and the other aspects that have come out at launch. Lastly, I am a huge fan of the MGS series. I mean, I love it. It's probably my favourite game franchise, so I had a lot of expectation and hype for the Phantom Pain. And I was basically demanding that they do not fuck this up. So, did they fuck it up? In a word, no. Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain is a supreme gaming experience. Gameplay wise, it is everything I was expecting and more, but I do have issues with the execution and the structure of the story, and that is a bit of a shame really, because that's one of my favourite parts of the franchise itself. The actual content of the story I don't think is too bad, but the way they present it is just poor in my opinion. It's presented to you in the form of cassette tapes. So a lot of the time you pick up cassette tapes after finishing the mission, so you then have to go into your iDroid, which is your menu system, select the tape that you want to hear and press play. The audio rolls and then you sit there and listen. That's it. And I know you can listen to these tapes whilst you're out in the world messing around or doing missions, or you can do something in the menus, but do something with Mother Base or whatever. But you realise that if you're doing things whilst you're playing these tapes, you're not listening. You're not taking in what's being said, and you're missing key bits of the story are in these tapes. I just don't think it's a good move to use these so heavily. Sure, have a few of them, have a handful of them, but it just didn't work for me personally. Last real problem with the story side of things is there is some unnecessary filler. That really did get up my nose, and it completely broke any momentum that the Phantom Pain was building for its narrative. And it's a shame because, like I said, MGS is famous for its fantastic storytelling. That's just doesn't quite pull off here with the Phantom Pain. Putting aside that though, and apart from probably maybe a few other small exceptions, everything else about the Phantom Pain is excellent. It's a beautiful looking game, it runs smooth as absolute shit. There's a little bit of pop in there, but you soon overlook that and you won't even notice. You can marvel at what a beauty MGS5 is here. I have to mention this, that I did have one hard crash when I was playing this. I mean, it literally shut down my PS4, so that was not great. I've not heard any other people that I've been speaking to that are playing it who've had this issue. Could be isolated. Nevertheless, I'm going to disclose it in the review because it happened to me once, and that's my rule. If I get a hard crash in a game, I'm going to tell you guys about it. The Phantom Pain, as you probably know, goes open world. You get two pretty big maps that are littered with outposts, bases, wildlife, vehicles, plants, enemies patrolling. The list goes on. I'm not going to say it feels as alive as something like The Witcher 3. But it's more about giving you options in the Phantom Pain, opening up the game and giving you more stuff to experiment with. There is like a changeable weather system in the game, so in Afghanistan you can get sandstorms that come through, and that reduces your visibility, but more importantly it reduces your enemy's visibility. There's rain in Africa, that kind of like reduces the sound that you output, so you can crouch and walk at a higher speed and not be heard. But as I said, having it open world is more about giving you the options, and you get tons and tons of how you want to play this, and it lets the missions be far more dynamic and interesting than what you've probably played previously. The game adapts to how you play too, so if you keep using the same tactic over and over, like shooting soldiers in the head, then eventually soldiers will start equipping themselves with helmets. And small things like that mean you have to evolve not only as a player, but you've also got to evolve the arsenal that you take out with you. And thankfully the Phantom Pain gives you a shitload of options for that too. You can develop a load of old stuff here, and it always feels like you're on the way to upgrade and unlocking something, and you're actually progressing and working towards something. There's a cool buddy system in place where you can select a buddy to accompany you on the missions, and they can help distract enemies, kill enemies, knock them out, mark enemies, or just help you get from A to B. Again, just more and more options for you to experiment with here. It's perfect, and thankfully the Phantom Pain is an absolute dream to actually play as well. Tight controls, superb AI, and the freedom means that it's probably the best action stealth game I've played. In fact, it is no question about that. It's fantastic balance of the two. If you want to go for a base and knock all the enemies out and then extract them all via the excellent fault and recovery system, do it. That is great fun. Or you want to take a rocket launcher in there instead and blow them up, do that as well. That is equally as fun. And I could sit here for days talking about the scrapes and the scraps that I got into on some missions, whether it's infiltrating one of the bases at night and then I get caught and they fire off a flare into the air to light up the entire base so they can see me and then fire mortar on me. It's just a superb melting pot of gaming. I can't express that enough. Missions are either main missions or side ops. Side ops you trigger by just visiting certain areas of the map, and then your objective will just unlock and then you go and do whatever you need to do, so you can trigger them quite easily. The main missions you actually have to select themselves and get them off the menu. But I like the freedom of just strolling into a side op, and I'd often do several of these back to back because they were so easy to get stuck into. Going back to the main missions, they're a little bit hit and miss. I mean, I like the fact that you can just sit down and do one or two and do something else, or switch it off even if you've not got a lot of time, because they are like mini episodes. Each one's got its own cast list and a post completion credit, and Kojima's name is all over this place, and I don't know if he's done that intentionally, but he is everywhere. But it makes them feel very isolated. And I think this added to the problems that I mentioned earlier with the story structure. Having a hybrid of old school, epic infiltration missions, perhaps a separate area just for these bases, and then some of these kind of pick up and play missions would have been perfect, but it's not how it is. It's kind of like all pick up and play for a little bit, which is not terrible, but it could have been better at the end of the day. Finally, there is mother base management. That is a game within a game, no doubt about it. It's mainly menu managing, really, but it's good fun, and you need to do this to help unlock the new upgrades, the new items, and the new weapons. You can visit other base as well, actually, so it's not quite just menu managing. There's got side ops on there and other tasks, and you boost the troops' morale when you visit. So there's a little bit more to it than I first mentioned a minute ago, and you can easily get lost just doing this, working around just trying to build up diamond dogs into this force to be reckoned with, all the soldiers, animals, resources, plants that you extract with the fault and recovery system and go back towards mother base and help you build that empire. Believe it or not, I could sit here and rattle on for another 10-15 minutes to tell you about what the Phantom Pain has to offer, because it is humongous. I think I'm pushing on about 70 hours. I've done all the main missions, every one of them, not to S rank, I'm not good enough to do that, but I've only done about 40% of the side ops, and Mother Base is not at full strength either, so it is jam packed with content. So if you are a completionist, you'll get your money's worth if you want to go for everything on this game. The execution of the story, bit of a letdown, but believe me, it's wounded me to be disappointed with that aspect of the game. But it's the truth at the end of the day. It's just how I feel, and that's how I've come away feeling from it. But if you've never played a Metal Gear Solid game before, then this is the time. It's easily the most accessible of the series, bar none. And if you're a fan of the series already, A, why are you listening to me now? Why have you not already got it? But B, it's got its shortcomings on the story front, but you're still going to love it. It's the best moment-to-moment gameplay of the series, and it was just a joy to be out in the field with Big Boss, taking down outposts, extracting prisoners, building up Mother Base, and living the life of the greatest soldier in video game history. My official grading for Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain is gold. Thanks for your time, and ta-da.
Understand your situation sooner than later. I know it's difficult, but please look down. It's best to see with your own eyes. Be brave. Nosokoma, Grigor, try to calm down. Calm down. Please, calm down. It's gonna be okay. Yes. Calm down.